Yeah.
Most people with 9 children struggle to read a book.
Well, I was going to say, it's kind of like the vital statistics, isn't it? But if you imagine, if you put I work with all the things that you're not supposed to work with. Children, animals. We've got the great outdoors, Yorkshire scenery, all the seasons in pretty much an hour, never mind anything else. So you have potential for catastrophe and things to write about. So that's all that it was. I just started writing. And of course, guess what? I haven't got time to keep a diary. I don't sit down and pen what's happened every day after the day's over. But what I do is take pictures. So I've got a back catalogue of over 100,000 pictures. Everything from the sublime to the ridiculous. I mean, it's just literally, I suppose it's a photographic journal, it's a photographic diary. And I wanted to take them in book format, because after all, it was a book. This is a very dog-eared copy. It was a book, I suppose, just like that, called Hill Shepherd, that set me off on this path.
I think I'm going to go for Culloden, right? I'm going to go for Culloden because I know so much about it now, and it's so representative of so much about Scotland for me. Representative of all the kind of things that I write about in the book. They all coalesce at that place. You know, that things came to an end there for Scotland in many ways, and I when I stand on that battlefield and I think about what that was like and really imagine it, that really roots me into the country. I feel that anywhere I go in Scotland, but particularly there because it's such it's you know, you feel a great reverence for it when you're there, and I don't say that lightly. It truly is a special place, so I would pick Culloden.
And the reason I got involved with writing books about kings and queens was because I was a little bit sort of depressed about the few numbers of copies that my other books sold. So I asked my agent, you know, how we could improve the situation. And she said, well, you should do a royal biography.
The thing you've got to remember about writers is they're growing up the same as you are. They're not born wise. Actually, good novelists are born slightly stupid, in the sense that if stupidity can be a kind of unawareness, and then you're just looking and watching and looking and watching, and then suddenly things start to accrue. And you know, the second half of a writer's career is often very interesting because you watch how they're affected by the books that they've written. And Mayflies has changed my style. It's made me much more open to the unseen intimacies that make a life. We all know about the big intimacies, the love affairs, the romances, the children that you bring into the world if you do, the boyfriends and girlfriends. What gets much less airplay is those lifetime friendships which define you, entertain you, and characterize you in the end. Once you've understood that, once I'd understood that, it changed my writing.
And I was thinking school is a bloody nightmare, can't stand it. Walked into the art room and I've had a few drinks, that's what it is. and Mr. Mortman, our art teacher, had put a lump of clay on every person's workstation and quite frankly told us what it was and said, right, make something with this clay. And I think half the class started a clay fight. And the other half, which I was in the latter of, we actually started making something. And I can't tell you, to this day, I mean, I remember writing it in the book, and it was like it was yesterday. Touching that first piece of clay, it was like an epiphany moment. It was like a religious calling. Whatever comes sooner, at a moment, a second, whatever it was, I knew the moment I touched the clay that this substance was going to be a big part of my life. It was amazing. And quite frankly, it was the first time that any teacher had ever told me that I was good at anything at school. And I took to it like anything.
But do you think that the reason perhaps that some people struggle with poetry and don't engage with it is because they don't have the terminology or the toolkit to do it?
I think there's this feeling that you should get it straight away. I think people read it and think, I don't know what that means. End of that. And what you you'll just feel something that thinks, I don't really get this, but there's something just beckoning me forth. I say it's the same with people. And I've bought albums, for example. I don't know how many music fans are in, but I bought albums and I've thought, I love this album. First, you play it the first time, wow, I love this album. This is going to be one of my I'm bored. I'm bored with this album. Yeah. Whereas you have an album and you think, oh, I don't know if I've wasted money on this and I'll give it another go, I'm not sure. And then some of the melodies start coming into your head and eventually it does become one of your best albums. It's not about the instant hit. It's those things that creep into you like COVID. Just keeping it topical for them.
Absolutely.
For the kids, the teenagers. Four teenagers. I mean.